All right, and so the first question goes to those two. Yeah. Mark, well, we're going to Rachel and then to Mark Wallet. What is your vision for, or what do you imagine Boulder's creative ecosystem should look like in the next 5 to 10 years?
First off, I just want to see art on everything. It just makes me happy. And I think we all need a little bit more happiness in our city, especially with everything. But, okay, my official answer. My vision for Boulder's creative ecosystem for the next 5 to 10 years is one where artists and cultural organizations are not just surviving, but thriving, and where creativity is woven into the fabric of daily life. I want to see affordable, sustainable spaces for artists to work and perform, strong partnerships between the cities, schools, and nonprofits to nurture the next generation of creatives, and cultural programming that reflects the diversity of our community. I also believe Boulder's reputation for innovation can be strengthened by integrating arts and culture into our economic development strategy. In 10 years, I want Boulder to be known nationally, not just for our natural beauty, but as a city that leads with creativity, equity, and cultural vibrancy.
I've already expressed my particular interest in the theater world. And one of my visions for going forward would be to have a much stronger theater community here than we already have. As I said, I want the Oregon Shakespeare Festival to be replicated here. And I think we could do that and have those kinds of performances going on all year round. We already have a vibrant music community, but we can strengthen it further. I want to further strengthen the visual arts community because I think we can do better there. And basically, we need to keep pushing the message that the arts are so fundamental to what we do in Boulder. We can't do without them. We need to make them better. We need to make them stronger, whatever the discipline is. And we need to basically demonstrate to everyone that this is a core component of life in Boulder.
Thank you. Our next question will go to Jennifer Robbins and to Rob Kaplan. And that question is, how would you ensure the blueprint is not just aspirational, but fully integrated with other city plans, such as housing, transportation, the civic area, and economic development?
So, I kind of explained this a little bit already with my accountability committee. That is a way that I think that the residents who are super passionate about this particular topic can be involved with making sure that, again, as I mentioned, that we're not pitting arts against essential services because arts is an essential service here in Boulder for so many reasons. And I also wanted to mention that if we can start getting things kind of off the ground, as an example, I was in Tulsa in November last year, and there was a family there that wanted to gentrify the city, and they built a Woody Guthrie and a Bob Dylan museum. So it was this random part of Tulsa with these two museums that were stunningly innovative. And it was the middle of the day on like a Wednesday, and there were 300 people in town just for those two museums. And when I have people come in town, I look up like, every time, even though I've been here over 10 years, I'm like, what should I take them to do? And there's a few things, but if we had, that was top of the list in Tulsa, and everybody went. People were there for that museum specifically. So if we can create things that are similar to Sundance, where people want to come here and they want to visit to see specific things, and we can generate that tourism, then our sales and use tax goes up, and funding gets better, and everything works. So, thank you.
So I just want to make sure this is how to integrate it into everything.
Yes.
When I go down to Denver and I go to the Rhino District, I see it integrated into everything. I know there's a beautiful mural on this building. I would love to see more of that. I would love to see local artists on buses. I would love to see local artists canvassing areas of this community. It brings cultures together. It's good for mental health. It brings community. It's just so important to have that in every single aspect we have. As Lauren said, from architecture to murals to the visual arts, it all needs to be included in every single thing we do. When we're thinking about art, we need to place it into transportation, housing, everything that we have. I think it's just one of those things that when people come to visit Boulder, they need to be blown away by how creative this community is and how much we care about our artists here.
Thank you. And now we're back to our elevator pitch question, and this will go out to Matt Benjamin, Nicole Spear, and Rob Kaplan. And I'll ask that question one more time. Imagine you're talking to a new resident or a business leader. In under a minute, how would you explain why arts and culture are essential to Boulder's future and why this matters to you personally?
I'll start with the fact that I myself am an artist. There's times where you'll find me out on the trails early morning looking for wildlife. Now, in a Boulder place, only in Boulder I should say, I'm out with my camera gear and there's a trail runner running by me who's already done Bear Peak and it's 4 a.m. in the morning. So only in Boulder do you have that. But where this is really critical is the fact that it's a place where everybody can participate in the arts. And that's something we want to foster, all types of arts. And one thing we haven't really said is the culinary arts. Right? That's a big essential part of our artistry. And we want to see that fostered as well. And so we integrate that, and when we tell that, it's a force multiplier. Investing $1 in the arts returns many times that back to our community. And so when people think of a force multiplier, you think, hey, that's an investment that gives me more on the back end. That's a worthwhile thing to give more into. And I think that's how we want to, how our community understand the value of the arts. Give a little, get more back. Give more, get even more back. And that's an essential part of why our arts are so important in our community.
Arts and culture are essential because they create community and they help us imagine different futures even when the present feels so dark and heavy. They've helped me through grief, uncertainty, and isolation. From the music that I listen to still on hard days, to the books and films that expand my worldview and help me imagine a different future, to the paintings, photographs, and sculptures that move me and remind me what we're fighting for. Art makes us feel less alone. It connects us to each other and to something bigger. In Boulder, art is how we build belonging, protect democracy, and keep hope alive. So, what time can I pick you up for First Friday?
If I had to explain to somebody why it's so critical, I guess the analogy I would use is I can take you out to one of the nicest restaurants here. Maybe it has a Michelin star, some local cooking, and it is going to be amazing, delicious food. Or you can come to the firehouse and I'll cook you something without any spice at all. That's what I don't want Boulder to see. I want it to be creative, and I think everybody knows that when they go to a city, what moves them is emotion. They come to a city, they see the vibrancies, they see the art. It's not necessarily a cerebral effect, it's an emotional effect. I played drums with a band up in Jamestown, and I cannot even tell you the amount of talent up there. I walked into one practice one time, and I thought I heard Sarah McLachlan literally singing, and it was this 18-year-old, and the whole community just inspires me so much. And I think that this community here can inspire the rest of our nation as well and keep bringing visitors back.
We're going to put this question to Rachel Rose Isaacson as well, because you haven't had a chance to answer it yet. She has.
Oh, I haven't answered the elevator pitch, no.
That's what we're talking about.
Yes,
Go for it.
I'm like, no, I haven't.
Go for it.
So yeah, we all know that the arts is a crucial aspect to our character, but I also want to highlight that it's also what brings us together. And I just think that we need more opportunities to have things that bring us back together again, especially when we're in times of so much divisiveness. I think the arts, and also sometimes sports, but I'm going to talk about arts, brings us together in times that are really meaningful for us, and it gives us a chance to really reflect about the moment that we're in. You often hear people say that keep Boulder weird, and I think it's just a way for us to keep our history alive and help remind us of what we're trying to keep vibrant about us. there's one of my favorite movies, The Shining. They say all work, no play leads to a not very vibrant city. That's not what he said. But he wrote that here, you know. And anyway, I really want to say that, you know, when we're all working and we're all trying to serve our communities, we also all want to look forward to the concerts. We want to look forward to supporting our poets. We want to support our muralists. So yeah, I think that we really need to stop. Because I get told.
We've been so good with time. Oh, Deb has a few words to say.
So we thought, since we have time, we'd give each of the candidates 1 minute to make more of a campaign pitch, if you want. That's up to you. But first, I want to point out some people in the room we need to thank. My fellow board members on Create Boulder, Lynn Seoger, who's been our timekeeper, Jan Burton, Nick Forster, and Kathleen McCormick. Also, Michael Lucchese, who runs our facilities committee. I want to thank Charlotte Lasasso. Charlotte's from Boulder County Arts Alliance. She's around, and Maggie, who helped out, and of course, Justin. Also want to point out Lauren Click at the very back, who runs our amazing Office of Arts and Culture. Exceptional. We wouldn't be here without all the work that Lauren and her team do. Sarah Harrison, who runs the grants program. And on the Boulder Arts Commission, they're the folks who review the grants and do an exceptional job. Carolyn Kirk, who is the chair, do I have that right? In the back, and Marie Cole at the very back too. So, yeah, there are a lot of folks in the room who are behind all of this. Also, I've been asked to share that this weekend starts Open Studios. So this is an opportunity to get out and see art in the community with our all visual artists. And the opening is when? Friday. Okay, so go onto the Open Studios website. You can learn more about that. And I just want to say thank you again to the candidates. And if you want a minute, we'll go from right to left, just to say something that perhaps you haven't shared yet, haven't had the opportunity to share. 1 minute each. 1 minute.
I'm running this campaign to be an advocate for the community. I really want to hear everyone's voice and have them be heard. But specifically for arts and culture, I'm deeply passionate about the arts. As I said, I'm an art professional, and I have seen how it can change lives. From Daniel Kusama's paintings that really share her mental health experience, to Misty Copeland at the ABT Theater, who was the first African-American dancer who has inspired thousands. I really believe that we need to include more arts in our community. So, thank you.
So as I go downtown, I see homeless people on the sidewalks and on the bike paths. This has a direct impact on the arts culture. It gives some people a perception that it might not be safe down there, and it drives away people that want to experience that arts culture. I want to take a moral stance towards how to deal with the homeless problem, get them help they need and the treatment they need to make downtown seem like a safer place for people to experience that. I also want to look at our investments to take a moral look at those investments to make sure that they are being used properly and not hurting people. We can't be profiting off of investments that are killing people. And I also want to look at a moral outlook for how we're dealing with housing. Most of the council members I've seen want to keep building and expanding outwards, building dense apartments, and I don't want that. Thank you.
All right, everyone, my name is Rachel Rose Isaacson. Again, I'm running for Boulder City Council, and a big part of my platform is going to be affordable housing for all stages of life. And right now we have a lot of affordable units that I don't believe that are actually affordable, and I think that we need to fix the barriers and the gaps that are keeping people from those spaces, and this includes artists. I just had a conversation with someone the other day, and we were talking about the Boulder flood and how with the Boulder flood, we also lost all of our artists in the city because they can no longer afford to live here and they got flooded out. So we can't have art without artists, and we can't forget that part. So we need to make sure that our city is accessible for all. Thank you.
Okay, again, I'm Jenny Robbins. As I mentioned earlier, I'm chair of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, co-chair of the Chamber Community Affairs Council, and I'm a mentor through the CU Leadership Program. I'm a lifelong community activist. I've been supporting many local nonprofits since I moved here, like EFA, the Precious Child, Share a Gift, the Boulder County Foster Care Program, though that does not exist at this point. I'm a working mom raising 2 teenage daughters who are 13 and 15 that attend BVSD public schools. I moved here 10 years ago for the creative community and for the thriving economy. We're very, very happy to be here. I'm running for city council to ensure that policy reflects the needs of all, not just the loudest voices. I think we need top-down de-escalation in council chambers. I think we need to do a better job of taking care of our businesses, both big and small, as well as good governance. We need to do a better job of our basic needs, roads, rec centers, and our general infrastructure. I would like to bring balance back to Boulder City Council. And I think that progress comes from listening to all the voices. We are grappling with a lot of serious issues right here in Boulder right now, and I am hoping to get elected to take on some of those challenges and make some change here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I've worked on some massive art installations around the country. Everybody needs a hit me with a table saw. But I'm a lot more proud of those canvases that I've stretched for a handful of artists. There's a bunch of bands in town, quite popular bands, that I finance all their merch, essentially. So that's a good way of helping out a graphic artist in town, and then also the bands are able to directly profit off of that. I'm a renter. I've got a 30-year-old truck in the parking lot that I'm essentially keeping running on my own, and that's a pretty good metaphor for this campaign. But if you, when you're at First Friday and you see those paintings, those are canvases I'm making somewhere. There's a ton of us with our boots on the ground, not just in the huge institutions and at the top of the city council, but that are keeping this economy, this city going. And I'm trying to be a voice for those people. We're doing our best out here and we're working together. And yeah, if anybody wants to know what that takes, feel free to drop me an email or a call. I'm always wearing a headset and I'm a pretty friendly guy to talk to.
Thanks again for the opportunity to be with you all tonight. One of the things that we got to remember about our arts community is that it is not standalone. It's part of our overall economic vitality. And that's one of the core pillars of my campaign this year, is building an economic development strategy that thinks about everybody and every industry in our community. And the arts community and really the arts economy is a fundamental part of that. We can't have a strong economy without the arts, and we can't have strong arts without a strong economy. And so we have to think holistically about what that is. It's office vacancy, it's lifting up our restaurants, it's realizing that we're spending less money downtown. Our population is aging faster than we're bringing youth in here. So we need to think about being a more tourism-based economy. So bringing things like Sundance here and others are going to help prop us up while we sort out why we're having a reduction of sales tax revenue as our population continues to age. So this has to be an important holistic look, and the arts are a key function of that. But we need not to silo and break apart these different sectors of our economy, because then they get pitted against each other. We do need to keep some of our great local entrepreneurs, like Ozo Coffee, in place. We need to keep other great installations like E-Town thriving. We need to think about everybody all together, and that's essential for our overall economy.
I've been on council for 6 years, and I'm running for my third and last term.
You said that last time.
And clearly I'm a slow learner. I'm doing so for a couple of reasons. One, I'm very concerned about our economic status at the moment. I want to help navigate us through this period of difficulty. And I'm also very concerned about the potential impact on this city of policies that are going to emanate from Washington. And I think the dangers the harm that can be inflicted upon us from that sector is incalculable. In terms of issues in Boulder, I'm very focused on, first, public safety. Public safety impacts the arts community, it impacts our sales tax revenues, it impacts our property values, and without it, you've got nothing. I'm also concerned with our infrastructure. maintaining the assets that we have, and creating new assets that will serve our community well. And lastly, although it's not related to art, I'm very concerned with wildfire resilience, which is something we've never had to deal with before, but we better deal with it now.
I'm Lauren Folkerts, Boulder's Mayor Pro Tem, and I'm an architect and business owner, and I've been a Boulderite for 15 years. I didn't become an architect because I love buildings. I became one because I love people. Whether I'm designing affordable housing, backyard cottages, or gentle infill projects, my focus has always been on creating inclusive and sustainable spaces. And on City Council, I've brought these same values to policymaking. I helped raise Boulder's minimum wage, expanded affordable housing options, passed the nation's first code to reduce embodied carbon in all new construction. I'm not chasing headlines, I'm chasing progress. I listen, I collaborate, and I work hard to turn our shared values into policy and change. You can learn more about my platform at laurenforboulder.com. Our housing crisis, climate crisis, and growing inequality are tough interconnected challenges, but this is a community that is not afraid of complexity. In the face of turmoil and corruption at the federal level, I promise to continue leading thoughtfully with vision and courage.
Since I forgot it the first time, I'm going to make sure I get my name in. I'm Nicole Spear. You can find some of my materials on the back where you can find my website and other information. I'm going to echo Matt. After losing my research job this past July, I've really been feeling the ripple effects, and not just in healthcare and groceries, but how often I can go out to our restaurants or venues or purchase from our local artists. Our economy really depends on having people in Boulder to spend money on more than the basic necessities of housing, food, and transportation. Many of our services, including our arts grants, depend on sales tax. We need to quickly replace the jobs that we're losing with new opportunities so that we can continue to generate sales tax. With 2A, artists have kind of tied their futures to Boulder's economy, and so we need to make sure that it's strong enough to hold them. I have 4 years of experience pouring over our city budget with Mark Wallach on the Financial Strategy Committee, and a lot of experience championing our outcome-based budgeting that will continue to make sure our arts are embedded everywhere in our city.
My name's Rob Kaplan. I moved here 33 years ago from Gary, Indiana. One of the first things I did is I started a small business, Pro Peloton Bike Shop. I understand what it takes to start a small business and to run a small business. It's not easy. I had a stint in commercial real estate, so I see it from the other side as well, what it's like to be a landlord, passing down triple net lease expenses and how that affects artists and our community in general. And I spent 18 years in the fire service, retired as a captain. My priorities are safety and wildland preparedness. I understand the threat that we have here, and I have the relationships and the understanding how to get it done. My other is safety downtown. If we don't have safety in general, if we don't have a safe environment for people to come, our community and our visitors, our shops will slowly fail. And also the economy, making sure that our budget we're maintaining what we have before we start a big new golden project and it's transparent. Thank you.
Thank you. And on behalf of the Boulder County Arts Alliance, Create Boulder, the Boulder Chamber, and everyone who cares about the arts here in Boulder, I want to thank our candidates for their time and thoughtful responses. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you all for showing up this evening. Boulder's future is a place known for creativity and vibrant arts community depends on strong leadership and a clear vision for the arts. As you consider your vote this fall, we hope tonight's conversation helps you see which candidates are ready to champion the arts as essential to Boulder's identity, economy, and quality of life. I have heard that we do need to be out of here by 6:45, so let's mingle. Let's ask each other questions. Let's hang out for a bit, and then let's go our way.